we're basically putting this whole banana family on death row. It's like a family that stops having children. The family name is going to eventually die out, so that's why we leave this one in. It's very important that. I'm dressed like an Egyptian princess today because it is extremely hot. So today's job is to dig up a couple of baby bananas that have been growing around our banana trees, and we're going to move them somewhere else. This is just wife instructions, you know. Some of the instructions I get regards gardening or farming from my wife, they're like highly classified, and I don't always have full security clearance as to why we're doing certain things. I've just been told today that I have to dig up these baby bananas and replant them somewhere else. I'm sure I'll find out later in the day the reason why. I'm just a foot soldier, and my wife is the general. I bent the bastard thing. Fuck's sake. When you can't afford a decent dentist and you go to some backstreet dodgy dentist that does it for like half a bottle of Jameson's whiskey, they'll extract a tooth. This is what I feel like, a backstreet dentist. It's wobbling. If I'm measuring the success of this job on a scale of 1 to 10, I give myself a 5. Because I've got the whole banana plant out unscathed, but I've hacked away at most of the roots. So, is that a pointless exercise? I don't know. Some of the roots are still intact. So, see, it's a kind of success. My farang,ผมเป็นคนไทยครับ. Just trying to confirm with the builders exactly how I want the steps within this swimming pool, plunge pool, whatever it is. Originally they started to build steps just kind of going down in one direction, 4 steps, almost like the steps you'd have within a house, you know, a basic set of stairs. And I said, no, I want like multi-directional steps, if you can imagine. Steps that are built into the corner of the pool that can go down in both directions, whether you're going to go into the length of the pool or the width of the pool. And it's taken about an hour of explaining and little diagrams to explain exactly what it is I mean. Anyway, I think we've got there now. I'm here all day today, so I'll keep popping back over every 30 minutes or so just to make sure that they're doing what I've asked. Again, I'm trying to explain to the builders that the tiles we've got for the pool, which are shiny, glossy, they're only for within the confines of the swimming pool itself. They're not to be going around the pool as a surround. We've got separate tiles for that, non-slip tiles. I can't think of a scenario more dangerous than glossy, slippy tiles around the edge of a swimming pool. Also, from an aesthetics point of view, it would just look rubbish. If I spoke more Thai, this would be a lot easier, but I don't. We only ever take one baby banana plant from each cluster of banana trees, because if you don't do that, eventually that cluster will just die off. If you can see this one here, at some point this main big banana tree will die and we'll cut it down and discard it, and then this one in its place will pop up, and when that one dies this one comes up. So I've just taken one of the babies here, you know, which is fine. But if I was to take this baby as well, then we're basically putting this whole banana family on death row. It's like a family that stops having children. The family name is going to eventually die out, so that's why we leave this one in. It's very important that. This one here, I'm not going to touch because this is relatively young anyway. There's one sort of baby-ish one here, but there's nothing else sprouting up, you see. So I'm not going to touch that. These are little bananas starting to grow. This actual flower is also edible. We've got a hell of a lot of banana trees. I counted up that we've got around about 150 on the farm, and we've planted every single one ourselves. And when I say 150, I mean I count this family as just one, even though actually there's two younger ones growing up next to it. But I don't count that. I just count that as one banana tree. All these ones that you can see along the canal here, these are all about 1 year old. We planted these just after we dug this canal.
Time flew so quickly, you touched me so deeply. I can't understand why a season's all we can keep. Time to let you go. I still dream of you at night. I think of all the lists.
You see why occasionally we opt to just buy baby banana plants for 20 or 30 baht each. It really is hard work to get a banana plant out of the ground. There's a different perception of value, obviously, here. And to me, as much as this is satisfying work, if I had to dig out 50 baby ones, I wouldn't do it. I would maybe do 10, and then I'd just buy the rest, because 20 baht for me, when I compare that to the work of digging one up like this, it's absolute value for money. There's not a lot of Thai people that would agree with me, but again, look, I'm an Englishman living in Thailand, and that's just my view of this. I'm sure in 10 years' time I'll think a bit differently, but for now, that's what it is.
We loved so fully, but I'm afraid to forget. I'll think of you when I fall asleep.
Even though this looks like quite a brutal thing to do, because I've just, you know, carefully and tentatively and lovingly dug this thing up from the ground, trying not to damage it in any way. the best thing to do now is to slice off the top of it and its leaves. And the reason is so that when it's replanted, the root, it will send all of its moisture and its goodness to the growing of this rather than the sustaining of these leaves. If we leave these on, it's going to really hinder the growing of this new tree. You know, it's going to end up like the sort of runt of the litter, you know. It's all of its goodness is going to be focused in the wrong place. So we get rid of this, as brutal as it is. Let's go and see what's happening with these builders. Make sure they're building to spec and not just winging it as to how they think it should be done.
With me, on and on we see there's something we don't know. You and my first love, and I can't ever let you go. Thinking of our time.
This is where we're planting these baby bananas around this pond. We're just going to plant these few banana trees. I think we're going to call it a day.
Time flew so quickly. You touched me so deeply. I can't understand why a season's all we can keep. Time to let you go. I still dream of you at night. I think of all the lessons that I learned from you. On and on we see there's something we don't know. You were my first love, and I can't ever let you go. Thinking of all of our time in the sun.
Look how wet I am. That's just pure sweat. Home. Lunch. And then something in the shade. Not the sun.